But still, I'm also able to actually just to take a loss from that, you know, snowball brawl, or snow brawl I should say. So anyway, so now we're on to the halfway point in Gadd's garage, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like Mario gets a 9. So that might be good for him, for able to actually get that, you know, kind of a big roll, by able to actually decide able to continue his progression towards the star. Even though it's going to be, once again, it's going to be like a neck-to-neck kind of syndrome, I suppose. But we'll see what happens there. So Yoshi's going to place his Klopto Orb character space onto one of those conveyor belts, and he gets about 9 coins that he's got. Jeez, that seems quite a large amount from that specific orb. But regardless of everything else though, no matter what though, I think I should probably place my Goomba Orb almost right near to where Mario is. So hopefully, God knows if someone might be able to land on it, I'm not exactly sure. But let's see, I need 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 or higher. 7 or higher. Oh, really? I was hoping for 7 or higher. But 1 is usually like a lame number to have. Oh well, no big deal. But meanwhile, while we were just managed able to place one of those trap orbs, and talk of the devil, we have the Bowser space. Of course. Although, mind you, we might possibly be able to actually play another Bowser minigame. Even though so far, though, we've only played just one of them so far, which is Dark and Crispy in, you know, Treetop Temple, as you expect. Yep, we are playing another minigame, so that should be alright, I suppose. And I believe we might as well lose half of our coins if we lose the minigame, so... Alright, new minigame, Dizzy Rotrishura. I do apologize for that mispronunciation name for that minigame, so I do apologize for that. You're clumsy, dizzy, and disorientated. Reach the exit before the inferno begins. So, in effect, this minigame will make a comeback in Mario Party the Top 100. Which I'm alright with this. I'm sorry for a little bit of a tongue twister in the end, folks, I do apologize for that. So, basically what I do is basically, remember the forms of Dizzy Dancing minigame from Mario Party 2? Well, we got able to figure this out again by, you know, just guess which one of those directions that the control stick were able to lead us into. But, somehow all you have to do is basically you have to make your way to the exit, and that's all you have to do here. So, pretty simple to me though, even though sometimes the computer AI are way dumber than the forms of how it does it in, the Top 100 version, because in the Top 100, they basically know what they're doing. However though, in the old days, they just become idiots. So, yeah, that seems how this goes, basically. Now I suppose we're only down to one Bowser minigame left, which is Pit Boss. But, hopefully we'll come across into that at some point. So, meanwhile, for the other 3 players, they lose half of their coins, basically. How unfortunate. But at least I'm the only one that usually survives for that particular minigame, not regardless of anything else. And once again, we're first up against with Wario again, in another new minigame, Ray of Fright. An alright minigame, but it's just that the team of 3 might be a bit difficult for some. So, one player controls a laser cannon, the other 3 have to avoid getting zapped by blasts of light. And, in case if you're unsure, is the fact that, be sure to do not touch the actual, the flashy part of the cannons, because that will also manage to kill you, so, or in this case, knock you out. So, and also the arena itself is rather small looking, so because of that though, you might be able to actually lose this minigame so easily if you're not careful with all these, you know, the actual lasers themselves, and it's pretty easy for the team of 1 for sure. And for the team of 3, might able to actually get themselves a bit of a trickier time and all that stuff. But regardless of such though, I think I'm pretty much guaranteed that I'm pretty much gonna have to win this for sure. And I do apologize with the actual background noise you'll be hearing, just because once again my door just keeps on rattling all the time. Seriously, I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. Most notably because, yeah, you're gonna have to keep on hearing that in the background. Well, luckily that you can still hear the game audio and all that stuff, especially for my commentary and all that stuff. But it's just that one common noise that is really irritating me for the majority of the time. That is, of course, the, well, you know what I mean, the actual rattling door, which I know it's fixable, but it's just that it's not perfect for my door at the moment. So yeah, that's the only thing I do need to sort out at some point, but not now though, because we're playing Mario Party, of course. It looks like Mario got very lucky right there, because after all, that he did manage to place one of his orbs in one of those spaces, and in it, it actually contains extra amount of coins too, so that way, he'll get himself his first star back. Well, technically, the new star that he purchased, because obviously with, you know, that after that duel minigame that me and Mario first against each other in Cog Jog minigame, and I somehow managed to stall his star, so yeah, Mario's gone back to 1 star again, so that seems totally obvious, and in fact there was actually a trap orb, so, and this was obviously plotted boo, so yeah, I pretty much explained how that orb works. So meanwhile, Yoshi managed able to land on a happening space, and because of that though, he also got the Flutter Orb. So he might able to actually use that until the next turn, so... Because after all, that he was pretty much in 4th place at the moment, so... I guess that's totally fair for that, for the sake of like... Well, I don't know about you, because it has been a while since I actually did manage to discuss on quite a few number of things, basically, so I do apologize for that. So, it is that very cool metal mushroom as you saw, and basically this transforms us into metal forms of ourselves. You know, just like in Super Mario 64 days, and except the fact that, well, this is a party game, of course, and the metal mushroom will actually be pretty useful though, especially noticeable if you stumble across these, you know, with these little, trap spaces that you might able to stumble across, you know, with the actual transparency or something like that. Basically, this will actually protect us if you somehow manage to able to do not get harmed by any, like, trap orbs, which, that might be seems pretty cool though, especially how, at first I thought, whenever I first played this game back in the day, though at first I thought that the metal mushroom was kind of useless, but it turns out, from what I've seen a lot of playthroughs of, well, let's just say this game, along with Mario Party 7, then obviously this item, Metal Mushroom, is going to be handy for the majority of situations, most notably with, you know, trap orbs comes into play. Wow, how much coins does Wario get? 20? 20 coins that he's got from that particular... that machine over there that I mentioned earlier. So, that seems cool enough. Once again, 2 versus 2 again, so it's kind of a shame that we have not played any that much of, you know, 4-player minigames as of now, so... Alright, new minigame, Bodybuilder. This one's kind of cool though, especially noticeable how, you know, take turns stopping the wheel at the right spot to pick a part and build a robot. The first team to build a complete robot wins. So basically it's all about timing and all what have you, so but if you time it wrong enough, then basically you have to like try again, so that's how it goes basically for this minigame, so... Alright, let's do some teamwork. Even though you always have to start things off with the foot, and then after that it will be a spine or a hip, and then after that it will be the arms and the actual body, and of course the last one is obviously the head. So, yeah, pretty simple if you get the hang of it though. In fact, there was actually a thing to this though, and that was something to do with the forms of, could I possibly get ourselves the red head? Oh, so close. Because there's actually a secret to this though, is the fact that if you manage to get the correct full color of the actual robot parts, basically what that means is that if it's in like fully in red, like for example, and then basically the robot will able to go out of the actual the center platform, and basically he can go whatever he wants to. So because of that though, that's a bit of a rare occurrence when they manage to able to do that. Because what I've seen a lot of playthroughs of Mario Party 6, most of the time they just obviously get the art-placed parts, so, or in this case, the art-colored body parts, as far as I'm aware. So, oh well, no big deal, but at least it's kind of like, you know, random occurrence, like I said before, but still. So now it's daytime now, so I think we are on turn 13 at this point in time, and it looks like Mario might be able to get a random orb from that particular Gadd machine, as you see. And let's see what items is he going to get. Metal mushroom, standard stuff, and the regular mushroom, also standard stuff too. So today's day is of course the 12th of September today, in this case in 2021, and it looks like that we've almost there to the halfway point of September until we move on to, well, let's just say to me though, it's the biggest month of the year so far for me. That's of course until when we get to October, meaning that, you know, we only got about a couple of days left until Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One / Series X, and even Nintendo Switch, and PC versions as well is about to be up at some point in the beginning of October, so at least I'm super hyped about it. And also, as I said this so many times already, Mario Party Superstars. And as far as everything else though, oh yeah, Metroid Dread as well. So yeah, that's something I'm really desperately looking forward to. I've no idea why I say things weirdly enough, because again, I do apologize if my tongue is actually kind of twisted a little bit, but I'm fine as it is, so. Alright, let's place the Zap Orb. Let's just say we'll place it right here. I know it seems kind of unfair, but usually whenever we play this with multiplayer, we're not allowed to do that. But regardless of everything else though, it's just the fact that, well, just to make things a bit chaotic. But I just have no words to say, just because I always attempt to do that with CPUs, even though it might be unfair for them. But regardless of everything else though, that's as far as I can usually just, you know, regardless of everything else though, it's just I always attempt to do that, so. Oh yeah, I forgot about this happening space down there. And this what appears to be by the forms of, well, let's just say, you might be able to get yourself some extra character spaces based off from this particular, well, Calamity Launcher. And basically, you have to pay a certain amount of coins if depending on how much sets of these character spaces you want. So like, for instance, I believe the first set cost about 10 coins, and I believe all the way up to like 60 coins for set 5. Even though it has been quite a long time since I actually did manage to play this after all. So either way though, I do apologize with the excuse me, I do apologize with the actual like forgotten information about certain things as far as you are already aware. So anyway, Search and Destroy, we already seen this already, so hopefully we might as well win this again, so. And conveniently enough, it's the fact that we've pretty much, generally speakingly, almost done with the forms of the majority of the 1 vs 3 minigames. I mean, seriously, like I said this before since yesterday, that's basically kind of reminds me of Mario Party 5 Let's Play, but except the fact that we have to deal with the, well, the day and night system, as to be expected. Even though there are some certain minigames that doesn't utilize the day and night cycle. Like, for instance, there are some minigames like, you know, Search and Destroy, for example. It doesn't able to actually change anything if it's either day or night, so it remains the same. And also say applies to Pixel Perfect, and also Slot Trot, and also what else is there? Oh yeah, Ray of Fright, and some other stuff here and there as well. So at least that's something I was classified for mentioning about that. So. Alright, so Mario's gonna use his Metal Mushroom for whatever reason that he just managed able to use it by himself, and well, basically, God knows, until when he stumbled across, oh, he got very lucky right there, because he got a Flutter Orb, and he bypassed the star completely by, he was off by 5 coins to purchase that. I'm guessing that Warrior might able to get that star, so. And it looks like Yoshi places his, one of his orbs in here, so that seems fair enough. And he goes all the way back, again, from that conveyor belt, so. Although I don't know if it's just me, but I'm pretty darn sure that those character spaces have been removed from the actual conveyor belt or something like that. Even though I wasn't paying attention to that at all, so yeah, I must have, wasn't paying attention to that at all, so. Alright, let's use the metal mushroom again, so just in case we can able to constantly use, you know, orbs throughout the whole entire board, just because, well, again, that for the bonus stars comes in. So, you know, let's buy the Kamik Orb, because obviously that since that I don't think we'll able to stumble across that much of those useful items for the time being. But at least at the very least, I got a whole bunch of coins, like 99 so far. So at least I'm still up ahead for the actual lead at the moment, so... Yeah, but it looks like Warrior's gonna get himself his second star now, so that seems good for him. Oh, and also another thing too, is the fact that, potentially speaking, is the fact that, recently we managed able to go back into Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Xbox One version so far, and it looks like we're doing not too bad, even though I'm pretty much at the halfway point on that version, even though despite the fact that it plays out exactly the same aside from, you know, controller and also just, well, you know what I mean. I just really love replaying through Sonic Colors again because, seriously, Sonic Colors is so great back in the day in 2010, which I still highly recommend it, at least on the Wii version anyway. Anyway, so let's move on to the next new minigame, which is Mullet. So, jump to smack the Monty Moles as they emerge from pipes overhead. The team with the most points wins. And this is the daytime version of Mullet, so basically you have to able to jump and able to actually hit Monty Moles. If it's nighttime on the other hand though, they will switch things around by able to actually forcing you to do ground pound the Monty Moles. So yeah, that's a little bit different between the day and night system for this minigame. So at least to me though, I feel like the daytime one is actually a bit easier just because you have full control and also because of how the fact that you do have a lot more room of your freedom. Whilst compared to the forms of the nighttime version, sometimes it gets a bit cramped, or sometimes usually because of how the fact that if so many Piranha usually spots in, and then basically that you might able to actually get stunned for a few moments notice. So, yeah, you probably get the idea about that. So, yeah, it's pretty easy, though, if you do this on daytime, though. But in nighttime, on the other hand, though, that sometimes you might get cramped up at points. But, anyway. Oh, yeah, sorry for the actual, the commentary can sometimes feels a bit meh at points, mainly due to the fact that my laptop seems to lagging all of a sudden again. Whenever I was trying to do my commentary again and all that stuff, it just drives me up the wall, still. But regardless of everything else, though, I think everything else will be sorted by now, so either way, though. And, also another thing is that I do apologize if the actual cuts out some of my, commentary, mainly it's because, again, my program can sometimes manage to mess me up at points, but still. Anyway, so it looks like we are now on turn 15, if I was assuming that correctly, and it looks like that Mario managed to give 3 coins to Yoshi, so yeah, I guess that makes it pretty obvious. And Yoshi gets a 6, the actual number of the title. And he lands on the blue space, of course. And meanwhile for me, I think I might as well place my Kamik Orb somewhere onto that little roulette platform over there. So, do I get coins for that? Nope. But close enough though. Let's see if I can get a good roll here. Ah, but that's okay, because I think I might as well land on the happening space, of course. But, it's kind of tough for the actual happening space department for the action star at the moment, because it feels like I don't seem to be able to land on that much happening spaces from here. But, we'll see what happens by the end of this board. So... And it looks like Warrior's gonna use his, the Bullet Bill Orb, which, again, it functions the same thing as the ones in Mario Party 5. But, I get the feeling that, I believe you take away, 30 coins if you get hit by a Bullet Bill, whilst in here, it's now 20, even though I might be wrong, because it's been a while since I actually did manage to play some bit of, like, Mario Parties these days, specifically the old ones, because, well... You know, I'm still pretty hyped until next month for, you know, Mario Party Superstars and everything else like that, so... And I was literally so close to able to play 2 other new minigames, Cannonball Fun or Money Belt, which... So, well, we're going back on to, like, Treasure Trollers instead, which... we're still going to be players on daytime though, which I was quite surprised that we never actually seen the nighttime version of this minigame yet. So, oh well, no big deal. And I got the Bub Bomb from the start, so that's never good. But at the very least, we still need able to rely on... Oh, goody me. I got myself a golden treasure, which might actually give me 3 points. And Warriors got exploded, so that seems totally obvious for the sake of, like, you know, random, you know, chest placements every once in a while. But you get the total suggestion for that, so... And it looks like I get the feeling... Oh, Yoshi gets 3 points as well. Why did I get the treasure from the last second? Yes, I did. So that gives me up to 6 points. Nicely done. But the only thing I was really hoping for is the fact that I highly doubt that Mario will never able to use the Klopto Orb if he managed to able to get a 40 coin bonus event on the last 5 turn events. But it'll go on to a different event eventually. So anyways, I'm in first so far, Wario is in second so far, and Yoshi was in third, and Mario is in last. So things could change though, things could change eventually, so that seems totally obvious for the second, third, or anything else like that. Oh yeah, here's another new event that we have not seen yet. That's what appears to be the character space event. And basically, Twyla or Brighton managed to decide to place some specific random spaces on certain boards, and basically they'll place 5 capsule events. Many of, like, some of them are like trap-based ones or the character space ones. So it's predetermined by random, by the way, if you come across into that. So yeah, that seems... Whoa! 10 coins that he got it from the spiny capsule! Jeez, that seems quite a lot. Anyway, so now we're on the last 5 turn events, or the last 5 turns, I should say. So I think I should be quite fine for the most part, really. I mean, usually I'm sometimes managed able to get some rubbish rolls every once in a while, but regardless of everything else though, I really want to get that star so badly. So, meanwhile, Yoshi's gonna able to go onto the teleportation device, which pretty much gives him the guaranteed able to go close to where the star is, and I'm gonna place my Mr. Blizzard Orb right next to us. And let's see if I can get a good roll here. Thank you for giving me a 7, as opposed to 1, because otherwise, although I could potentially try to get, you know, 5 coins bonus if I land on my own space, but the only ones I really care for the most is, of course, the star itself. But anyway, let's see what the next star is going to be at, and it's going to be right next to the red space, as well as my trap orb. So yeah, I'm sure it's something. Let's see what's in here. I might not take a risk between those other 2 trap spaces from here, so I'm gonna just play it safe. So in this case, I'm gonna go down to the bottom. So alright, so looks like Wario, he's pretty much gonna use his sluggish room in case if he wants to get some more movements and stuff like that, especially that he was mainly trying to aim for 10. Or a different number, perhaps? Or even he gets a 4, so... I'm guessing I get the strong sense of feeling that it's a good thing that he managed to land on the, not only the happening space, or the action space, but also that he lands on that specific space. Oh yeah, because Mario now got enough coins, so that way he can use his Klopto Orb by able to obtain a star. So, it could be one of those situations like this, so... Alright, Tricky Tires. Another new minigame we can simply just play through. So, avoid obstacles and race to the goal in your 6-wheeled vehicle. Reach the goal first to win. And this is another one of those minigames that you have to use dual control sticks. The control stick and the C-stick. And in fact, this minigame is kind of similar to Sumo of Dumo minigame for the dual mode. Or the dual minigames, I should say, but now we're actually going to be competing against in a race, as opposed to a one-on-one knockouts. So, I think this one is a little bit easier, but at the same time, it might be pretty tricky to get used to, just because well, at the moment for the time, I'm pretty much used to with the forms of any other minigames like this, like, you know, no traction action from the likes of Mario Party Island Tour, because in that game, you can able to steer yourself with the circle pad, and then you simply hold down the A button to, you know, accelerate, and then press the B button to brake and everything, but usually that's as far as I'm pretty much used to at this point, so... But no matter, because I simply managed to win that, so... Anyway, so it looks like, yeah, Mario's gonna use his Klopto Orb now, and because of that, he will go straightly onto the star space. So, completely filled to the brim with, like, ignoring my trap right there. And also, during that time, is the fact that, wow, he was able to get his second star, of course, so... And sure enough, he'll purchase it. So yeah, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that, usually relatively speaking, is the fact that I've already mentioned about this before, haven't I? And that is something to do with, like, yep, I just know it, that Wario's definitely gonna get this, so... Yeah, that might be seems a good plan for Wario right there, at first glance. So, anyway. Yeah, usually because, remember I mentioned it before, about the fact that this is actually the first ever, Nintendo GameCube game to able to feature this weird accessory called the microphone, or in this case, the Gamecube Microphone. And, it does come with this game, so, chances are that if you're about to be able to try to get a new copy or something like that, usually it contains the GameCube Microphone, which contains a box, as well as the game itself, and that's pretty much how that goes. I think there are a grand total of like 3 GameCube games supported microphone, and that is something to do with both Mario Party 6 and Mario Party 7, as well as the other GameCube game, which I don't even know about, but what I've noticed is actually a pinball game of any sorts. And basically that game also uses the GameCube microphone as well, so yeah, that seems totally obvious. So, and this is the Kamik Orb, so what you gonna do? I just simply placed that orb right there, and he somehow managed to able to change it back to Mario. Oh jeez, I'm guessing that Kamik is trying to tell me, don't do that, mister, don't do that. Oh jeez. Well, despite the fact that I'm still in my Makar, and especially noticeable a female Makar, but regardless of everything else though, you should just call me Lady, or just anything else for that matter. But whatever. So it looks like Wario got himself the 3rd star, and now the next star is going to be one of those rotating platform right there. So God knows if someone might able to make it for this point right there, so... Even though Wario might not get it though, because he doesn't have enough coins for it, so... So I think me and Wario, for that matter, is that, well, we basically got 3 stars to each other, so... Yeah, it looks like it's getting slightly closer. Alright, new minigame, we have what goes up, or should I accurately try to say what goes down, because the reason why I say this is because, well, you see right here, fall as fast as you can by avoiding Koopa paratroopers and clouds. Reach the ground first to win. And this is basically you have to go all the way down, so that gives us a hint what goes down. Even though originally they managed able to mention that during the course of one of those GameCube demo discs, but it turns out they didn't actually include that minigame title on the final release of the game, so they just managed to call it like what goes up and stuff like that. So if you ever play this on daytime though, it'll just go like what goes up, so this means you have to climb up, and then basically in nighttime you have to go all the way back down to the bottom, and if you touch the ground like so, then basically you'll win. So, and in fact, for what goes up minigame, if those of you are able to notice something like this already, this minigame will make a definition of a comeback in Mario Party Superstars for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, that seems pretty cool, especially noticeable. I still can't wait to see how that minigame plays out in gorgeous HD, especially noticeable that I've been dying for that game so badly at this point. Although mind you, I said this before, we still need to wait until about a month left, so at least that's sure it's something to be looking forward to. And meanwhile for Mario, that he lands on a Mr. Blizzard Orb event. And he lost the Kamik Orb, so... Too bad for you. Alright, let's see what Yoshi's gonna do. He's gonna use his Sluggish Room. I wonder if he was able to... Oh, wait a second. He's probably gonna go for 1, isn't he? Is he? Yep, I called it, because I'm guessing he's probably gonna land on as many of those happening spaces as possible, so... let's see. Oh, I was literally that close. Set 5 usually costs about 75 coins. Okay, so that was my bit of error of mistake right there, so I do apologize for that. So, yeah, let's see what Professor Gadd managed to able to set in as such. A character space for Yoshi, and a trap space, and another trap. Okay. And what about the last one? A character space. So it's like a 50-50 with those two different types. Okay. Oh yeah, and something's worth noting for is the fact that, yes, much like Mario Party 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, unfortunately though, that one thing I forgot to mention is that this game runs at 50 Hz mode as opposed to the usual 60 Hz, so... It doesn't bother me at all though. I mean, obviously my GameCube did manage to work alright. Well, no stuttering or anything else like that. Oh, I got my first double. So in this case, double once makes 2. And if you get a double, as you saw, I managed to got 10 extra coins. So, that seems kind of cool. And also that since I'm almost right next to where the trap is, so I think I should purchase my Metal Mushroom Orb. And I can use that until the next turn, just in case I can show you guys what the Metal Mushroom can do if you get involved in one of those computer players' trap orbs. So, yeah, that might be something worth a delve for anyway. And it looks like Wario placed his trap orb somewhat right next to the happening space, I'm pretty sure, so that's something you need to give that, you know, somewhat of a consideration for the time. So, what's this? Oh, it's the Kamik Orb. So this means that it'll transform into one of his spaces into Yoshi's, so that seems alright. Even though I'm pretty sure he only gets like 1. I'm pretty sure, even though somewhat a bit lesser than that. I'm not exactly sure, because again, it's been a year since I actually last touched this game. So, anyway. Looks like we're going back to 2 vs 2 again, and we've already played those 3 minigames pretty much, so... At least we can go back onto Bodybuilder again, so we should probably just, you know, create another robot. Alright. Oh yeah, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that in one of those minigame roulettes, whenever we're able to get into the nighttime variations of certain boards, that's basically one of those minigames is, if I recall correctly, only exclusive to nighttime or something like that, called Light Breeze. So I'm presuming that minigame will be only active on that minigame roulette if it's only on nighttime, because I don't think it'll show up in daytime at all, at least if I recall correctly, for I've seen several Let's Plays of this game pretty much, so... Looks like Mario and Wario are far lacking again, whilst me and Yoshi just managed to able to conquer it all. Well, despite I'm the only one managed to able to get the correct panel, while Yoshi just keeps on, like, overlapping, or should I say, managed to able to time it badly, so that might be something I need to able to spot the actual... Well, it's kind of hard to say at this point, because that's as far as I can usually say about the forms of, not only for today, but also, you know, how this board plays out to be. So, and here we go on to the last 2 turns. Even though it kind of sucks that we won't be able to see this board again, which is kind of sad, honestly, because I honestly do enjoy this board for the atmospheric and, well, for the atmosphere, as well as for that, what's this? Oh, this is Klopto Orb. Basically, if you land on that, it takes you back to the start of the board. So, yeah, because unlike the ones in Mario Party 5, that if you land on the actual, the Klopto capsule event, you'll be forced to able to actually just to travel to the exact same spot as anyone else's does. So, because potentially speaking, it's more likely like a roulette warping thing. So, Even though I have no idea why I say things weirdly enough at this point. So, I got an 8. So, in this case, I think me and Wario are gonna switch. But since I've got myself the metal mushroom equipped, so this means that Paratrooper must have said, "Oh, too heavy. I can't handle this weight." So as a result, it actually gives me the opportunity to able to not being affected on that trap. So, yeah, that seems pretty cool though, especially noticeable in any other traps as well, like Flump or what's another trap? Oh yeah, the Zap trap, and also the Plottaboo trap, and that's about it basically, as far as what I'm guessing it correctly. Even though I haven't really looked upon my instruction manual for quite some time at this point, so either way though, I must admit though I do apologize for that. And I do apologize with the actual background noise you'll be hearing, because my dogs still actually kept on barking most of the time, so... Oh, for the love of God, same as Lame again! That's the 3rd time we playing this throughout the majority of this Let's Play. Oh jeez, we didn't play Note to Self or Money Belt yet, but... at least we only got about, you know, 2 turns left, but if we don't come across into any of those minigames yet though, then we'll save it up until, you know, the 3rd board in the game, which happens to be my favorite board in the entire game, which I'm sure that most people already know what I'm going to talk about, but then again, we'll save that up until by the end of this board basically, so it looks like Mario is actually getting pretty close to able to win this game for sure. And... no one moves except Yoshi. I can't believe Wario just doesn't press anything at all. But now he does. Alright, let's see. Well, Yoshi wins, so... I was literally almost like close. Even Mario couldn't get the actual, different button, but he was literally that close due to me. But oh well, we'll let Yoshi win on that one because he was in 4th, so at least I'll be alright with that. Alright, last turn in Gadd's garage, so let's see how this will turn out to be. I was expecting if I was trying to able to obtain the next star, or what's this? Oh, the Piranha Plant! But, so, even though that he only is going to lose 2 coins, so it's not by much. But, at the very least though, with the Piranha Plant Trap Orb, or the actual Orb event, thankfully it's a little bit more balanced compared to the forms of how it does it in, you know, the ones in Mario Party 5. Oh jeez Yoshi, I feel so sorry for you right now, just because you're going all the way back again. And despite the fact that you only got 1 from that dice roll. That's kind of sucks for you. Anyway, let's use my last orb, which is the Mr. Blizzard Orb, right where the actual rotating platform is, and no coins to be found, so I'm alright with that. Perfect, I got a 10. And because of that, I don't care if I lose 10 coins from that Plottaboo Orb, Trap Orb, but at the very least, I still got enough coins to purchase my 4th star. Feels like I was doing pretty dang well at this point, even though, mind you, that Pink Boo was never to be found in this board so far, because I said this before that Pink Boo can only be active on 2 boards, which we've already seen one ever since in Towering Treetop, and as far as the 5th board is concerned, well, I'm sure that most people already know what I'm going to say for this point coming up, so, geez, so many Plottaboo's Orbs traps. Oh, jeez. I have no idea why I say things like that, weirdly enough, but it knows where it stands. Alright, last minigame in Gadd's garage, and it's once again 2 versus 2 again, and can we get ourselves something like Burn style, but turns out we're playing the same minigame again. But at least in, unlike last time, we got ourselves our first new record for the entire Let's Play so far. But at the very least, we can now able to play the same minigame, but in daytime form. So, at least you can now able to actually see this little bright blue sky and everything else like that. So, at least you can able to actually see some you know, daytime environments and all that stuff, like grasslands or autumn, and everything else like that. So, speaking of autumn though, is the fact that the next section we'll hit into right now is almost kind of related to autumn related. So, yeah, it seems pretty cool though. Alright, so I'm gonna have to keep on just mashing buttons again, so even though sadly though I don't think I can get a new record this time around, but that's okay, because we already done it since when we first see this minigame. But you know, I'm fine with that. So, and also another thing is worth noting for too, is the fact that most of these voice clips are actually somewhat new this time, as opposed to recycle them from the likes of Mario Party 4 and Mario Party 5. Even though Yoshi might be the only exception, because his voice clips are almost exactly the same as in Mario Party 4 and 5. But that's alright, so either way though, I just want to classify that for the sake of that another detail in mind. So anyways, let's get into the bonus stars. First off is of course the minigame star, and you pretty much know whoever wins this. So, I'm quite surprised that we've never actually come across into a singular battle minigame on this board so far. Even though, mind you, we've only played just one so far in Towering Treetop, so... Alright, next star is the Orb Star, and I somehow got this. It is a good thing I managed to use so many orbs on that, you know, on that board, potentially. And lastly, the Action Star, and it goes to... Oh, we have two Action Star winners. And they are both Yoshi and Wario. Gee, no wonder why that Yoshi managed able to get a 1 for the sake of using this sluggish room to begin with. So, you know, the winner is in Gadd's garage, and that's what appears to be the Green Plumber Man, and that is Luigi himself. In this case, me. So that's my second victory in Mario Party 6. Yep, you're the superstar, Luigi. After all, that you've managed to visit Gadd for... I think, technically speaking, this was his second time he managed to visit Gadd, whilst later on he will meet up with Gadd again, and during the course of, you know, Luigi's Mansion sequels, including Mario Party Advance for the sake of gadgets and all that stuff though, so... Dang, it looks like that Yoshi almost caught up to me at first, even though if he managed to keep on winning minigames, even though, despite the fact that me and Yoshi were pretty much neck to neck with those minigames in mind, because we keep on teaming up with each other. And of course I managed to use 16 orbs, and then Yoshi hasn't used that all that much. And as far as happening spaces are concerned, wow, me and Mario are off by 1 happening space as far as getting happening star or action star or whatever you want to call it. Although, if you manage to get the exact same amount though, you don't get the bonus star for that, so... Yeah, that seems totally obvious. No DK spaces landed, even though it's kind of surprising, because, you know, in the first board we played every single DK minigames for sure. So, yeah, you probably get the idea. So I think we should probably end things off here. So join me next weekend for more of Let's Play of Mario Party 6. It's now we hit on to my favorite board in Mario Party 6, known as Fair Square. So I'll see you guys next weekend. Later, fellas.